Ready for a fresh face in NYC politics? Meet Jason Murillo. Jason Murillo is running for New York City Council District 2, bringing a fresh perspective and strong community ties. He's up against Anthony Weiner. Yes, that Anthony Weiner. Murillo's passion for local issues and his clean slate contrast sharply with Weiner's controversial past. Lower Manhattan deserves a leader who understands them and is free from scandals. Let's bring change with Jason Murillo.
GG Esco. I just made a plane, got a check in the same day. Blue faces on me, keep them stacked, no payday. Never going broke, never stress, catch a vacay. Keep the money coming in, same shit, different day. I just broke the bank and caught a case in the same day. Them broke girls hating, I'ma get a bag anyway. I just made a plane, got a check in the same day. Fast life, you can't slow me down, you can't slow my pace. Money coming in, never spend, you know I'm starting trends. Money never ends, don't pretend, don't care who I offend. Counting it in bed, don't need no friends. I said what I said, now I'm getting bread, I'm overfed. I swear I want some end. Fast life, gotta stack high, only get fly, catch a flight up in the sky, always keep another income cause I'm never satisfied, keep a stack outside, we outside, watch it multiply. I just left the bank blue hundreds cause I'm certified, while I'm unbothered, sitting pretty by the poolside, scared money, make no money, and you terrified, keep the money side by side, second high, watch it rise. I just made a plane, got a check in the same day, blue faces on me, keep them stacked, no payday, never going broke, never stress, catch a vacay, keep the money coming in, same shit, different day. I just broke the bank and caught a case in the same day. Them broke girls hating, I'ma get a bag anyway. I just made a plane, got a check in the same day. Fast life, you can't slow me down, you can't slow my pace. Watch me flip the switch, make the money do a flip. Baddies only driving foreigns, getting money, yeah we lit. We just got a bag, flipped a pack in the same day. Got it in the same way, swear I need to get away. All about the cash talk, pull up, make them bands pop. Counting all this money, feeling lovely and it's non-stop. Them girls wanna be me when they see me, but they heart stop. I just love the money, keep it coming, make them all talk. What you know about them blue faces in the bands? You ain't on my level and you don't stand a chance. I ain't fighting with these girls, I keep it in my handbag. But that girl ain't gotta brag, this that life you'll never have. I just made a plane, got a check in the same day. Blue faces on me, keep them stacked, no payday. Never going broke, never stress, catch a vacay. Keep the money coming in, same shit, different day. I just broke the bank and caught a case in the same day. Them broke girls hating, I'ma get a bag anyway. I just made a plane, got a check in the same day. Fast life, you can't slow me down, you can't slow my pace.
All right, there we go. What's up, everybody? You know the vibes. I'm just checking. We're live right now on X Twitter on Jason Murillo, Murillo, NY. On Twitter X right now at Jason Murillo NY. We're also live right now at Who's Next NYC Radio, our app, which is free to download on all devices, Android, Apple phones, WhosNextNYCRadio.com, and also YouTube at Who's Next NYC Radio YouTube channel, and also on Roku, Fire TV, and also on YouTube at the VLG Spotlight Network channel as well. We got special guests in the building right now coming up. New York City mayoral candidate, all right, Stephen Valle. All right, hopefully I said it correctly. And legendary DJ and New York City street activist, DJ L7. So we got a jam-packed next 30 minutes or so, 30, 40 minutes before VLG comes on at 8 o'clock with the VLG Spotlight Radio Show that she does Sunday nights here, 8 to 10 p.m. So she has guests for that as well lined up. So we got the next 3 hours on lock worldwide here, tri-state area. You know the vibes. Let me just make sure we got audio here. All right, good. We're good. We got audio, we got video, we got visuals right now. We got everything. People could join the chat as well. So let's get our guest on here because we're going to be talking about a lot of things in a short amount of time. So let me get my graphic here. There we go. That's me. And let's add our, there you go. I'm DJ Loudmouth, Jason Morello, your official New York City City Council District 2 candidate. So let's see who else we got to join the party on this Sunday night. How we do this? Okay, so we got him. Who's this fine gentleman right here?
Yo, it's DJ L7. What's up?
It was good. Let me just turn your mic up a little bit. Turn my mic up. I'm about to turn our next guest mic up. And where's your graphic? We had a caption for you. There you go. So DJ L7, there you go. It says it right on the screen. Legendary DJ, and for decades in New York City, and also street activist. So tell people about yourself a little bit.
Well, I was a DJ for a while. I'm actually not really doing that as much anymore. As a DJ, I actually had a win against DJ I Emerge, who was actually the world champion at a place called Skate Key. That was pretty cool. I'm into the cutting and scratching, but really, nowadays I just do old school funk. Nowadays I'm a street musician, and I actually have some gigs that I set up. I actually provided artists for something called Coney Island Maker Fair, and I do have other things coming up. But really, the focus in my business card actually says activist, because that's really what I focus on, being an activist nowadays. That's my primary thing. And I work with the little people. I work with the people that are disregarded. I was homeless at the age of 16, so I work with people that I was around, people that were, incarcerated, all the people that you find in the very poorest areas. Those are really who I was around. That's who I work with.
Okay, that's amazing. Good stuff. Good stuff. We're gonna have a very exciting show this evening. We're gonna get a lot of stuff done. All right, yeah. So also right now I'm going to introduce to the stage here, on air here, New York City mayoral candidate. I think he's one of the youngest mayoral candidates we have right now. So let's bring him right now, Von Steven de Valle.
Hey guys, how's it going? Von Steven de Valle here at your service. Glad to see you guys. DJ L7, lovely guy, love him. Very knowledgeable. Listen, if you're gonna become a candidate, reach out to him. This is the guy to go to. Jason Murillo, you're gonna do great with the Lower East Side. I have so much faith in you, man. And it's like you're really gonna do it. And I can't believe Andrew, whatever his name, is going up against you. Like, oh, anyway.
Wiener.
Wiener, there you go. Is that his name?
I have. Is Murillo frozen for you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but for me, Murillo is frozen.
Murillo? Yeah, Murillo's frozen for me as well.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll carry on with that. Listen, me and DJ Elf, we met with everything coming up, and he wanted to do an interview. Got that interview done, and it's been great after that. And how are you feeling tonight, Mr.
I'm
DJ
still
Elf?
alive, man. Just so you know, there's actually I've been super busy. There's some things coming up. Actually, by putting candidates together, we're actually hoping to address a lot of the issues that the bigger candidates or the more establishment candidates won't address. For example, we put together a group of candidates to go to Fulton Chelsea houses to oppose the demolition of the buildings there, where we know public housing houses our most vulnerable populations. elderly veteran.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Nice to see you.
You're great
Great.
as
Thank
well.
God. Thank
Yes,
God. Thank you.
exactly. Okay, as well.
Thank you.
The poor. So besides that, I'm also setting up for the first weekend of school will be January 26th. First day of school will be January 26th, 27th for a lot of colleges and universities. And we're actually trying to
Yes.
set up that weekend to have a meeting with other candidates and the CUNY chancellor.
Oh, there
And
you go. I'm back. Can you hear me?
Jason, you're back. We lost you for
You
a
guys were
second.
holding it down while I had the internet crash on me over here.
It's okay.
All right, go ahead. Continue talking. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So like I was saying, we're putting together candidates to work on certain issues. I don't know if anybody will be able to attend, but on Robert Brooks, we know just died in custody, and someone that I was talking to earlier, I'm not going to mention her name, but she was like, don't defend Robert Brooks. I'm not saying that he's innocent of what put him in prison, but he didn't need to die, right?
May rest in peace.
He needs to go to a court of law, you know what I mean? And then if he gets the death penalty, that's a separate discussion. But he
You're
was doing
talking
his
about
sentence.
what happened
Well,
to
I mean, I heard that
person in
he
custody?
originally ended up in jail because he stabbed his girlfriend. I'm gonna just be blankly honest. I'm just
That's
an honest person.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, but he
And
got
so, with him
talking about
hearing that, we need to invest heavily into mental health. I mean, that's the only kind of equation, the formula that can solve this is if we really dive into mental health. Not, oh, he stabbed his girlfriend, let's not support him. No, let's support him even more, but let's give him the support and the resources that are needed, which is within mental health. Simple.
Well, yeah. Well,
But
the thing
you're
is that on
talking
the
about the person
okay,
that got murdered by correction officers.
correct.
Yes.
There's
Yeah,
a nurse in the room as well.
yeah. Everyone involved should be criminally charged, just like the ones with George Floyd.
Yeah.
So I'm for prosecution, and we should all demand that all these individuals involved, including those that covered it up, try to cover it up, be prosecuted.
I like what I'm not against the mental health. I do like what Von Stephen Valle was bringing up. He brought up a good issue, but however, right? Remember that there was a nurse in the room as well while he died, and the nurse didn't do anything. So the fact of the matter is that we can't just change the name or change the agency without the real problem is the lack of accountability. The real problem is the lack of transparency.
And that's what we're definitely going to be talking about this evening, about the lack of accountability all the way from City Hall to Albany.
Yeah. So on the 14th, we're actually going to. There's actually several groups going up. I know that I think Children Health Defense Fund and Teachers for Choice. I think they're going up to Albany, as well as people protesting the Robert Brooks thing, because Hochul's going to make her state of the state address on the 14th, I think, around noon. So there's going to be quite a bit of political activity going on for that. And I plan on bringing some candidates, including possibly Stephen Lee, the first Asian Serpico.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah,
Okay.
It's going to be pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Thank you.
Definitely. These people need to be, be held accountable. No one is above the law. The same way they went after President Trump. They need to go after anyone who kills a person without, due process, such as this individual. Robert Brooks, you said his name was, I believe?
Robert Brooks, yeah.
Yeah. So, the correction officer's role is to protect the inmates, not to execute them. Not the United States, anyway.
Yeah. So hopefully we can have a better system and more accountability. Absolutely. So there's going to be something in Manhattan as well too, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be getting Hochul's office in Manhattan as well as in Albany, and that could be a good place for you to go, DJ Loudmouth, because I know you're running for office, and when you find people that are unhappy with the current system, those are the people who are more likely to be listening to yourself and a new person on the scene and elect someone like yourself versus an establishment tool like Anthony Weiner.
Definitely, because I definitely advocate for all minorities because I'm a minority as well. And just recently I had a situation where I live in my neighborhood across the street from me. from my apartment building on Avenue D and East A Street that a African American individual, a friend of mine who lives in the neighborhood as well, he was wrongfully profiled by New York City NYPD police officers and was stopped and harassed and wound up getting a ticket for, get this, for littering on the sidewalk at 2 in the morning. And so I brought that up to the cops. Out of all the crime that's going on in this goddamn city, all the people being murdered and shot and stabbed and robbed and everything, this is what you're doing, is stopping people without probable cause and harassing people and giving them tickets for jaywalking or littering in the street, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And and then at the same time, you have police officers claiming overtime up to 10 times their pay, 10, 20 times their pay. And what are they doing with all this overtime? Are they solving more crimes? Are they investigating more cases? Are they locking up more people? What is going on? And the New York City Council has all this information, has the audits. They audited, the NYPD was audited. They have all this information and they sat on it and done nothing. I'm for law enforcement. I back the blue, but at the same time, there has to be accountability, fiscal accountability, and also accountability in the communities. Police officers have to be better educated, and they have to not harass innocent people and wrongfully profile someone because they're Hispanic or Black.
Yeah. There's also some. I'm sorry, let me give Steve a chance to talk. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what's crazy? I love that you say that, Jason Murillo. And as we've seen, I'm coming from the Debrina. Debrina is the one who was burned up on a subway over in Coney Island train station.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we seen back and forth, these police officers panic back and forth, but yet they don't know where a fire extinguisher is. This is absolutely disgusting. Is that, and you see that police officer, that's the one who's running to the right, and no one knew where a fire extinguisher was. I mean, let's say if there was a fire on a track, these police officers should be trained enough to know where fire extinguishers are, but yet they're constantly on their phones, but yet they're not able to know where the fire extinguisher was. This is, it is getting very repugnant. Okay, I'll be honest. There's no other word I can use except for repugnant, because everybody's always on the cell phones, and I have it on my Instagram. You'll see 3 officers who ask me if I'm okay. Am I okay? No, I'm not okay. I'm not okay seeing people burnt on the subway where you guys can come. There was a fire extinguisher in that station. People are saying, oh, they need fire extinguishers. There's fire extinguishers in the station. It's about knowing where it is. It's not about if it is in the station. They are in the station.
Yeah, something should have been done to that poor individual. Find a fire extinguisher, take your coat off, try to, hit her, like get the fire off her. Do something. They just watched her burn to death, and and then people are quick with their phones to film it instead of trying to do something. It's really
people who want their sent back, and that's why I'm saying we need retraining. We need to look at the procedures again, because there's a lot of people who are being they're like, even DJ Elf brought a situation to my eyes with the around in Queens, where these guys were getting paid more to prosecute more people, but the cases wasn't sticking. The cases were unfound. It was truly like one guy was in prison who was a victim. I can't remember, DJ Elf, but
Nolan Farrell, maybe?
I'm sorry?
Nolan Farrell?
Yes.
Okay.
And it didn't make sense, and it didn't seem like they really had to use their brain. And again, people are not having to use as much brain as they did before.
You know, one of the big issues, just so you know, just want to mention right quick. There's a couple things. First of all, the not-for-profit industrial complex. There's a lot of people that actually make money off of the situation continuing, and like for example, Stop the Violence organizations. When an incident of violence goes up, their funding shoots up. So actually, they're incentivized to see violence happen. This is actually not saying that they're all bad, but there's definitely troubling incentives that happen. Another thing that's not really talked about right now is if you look up this something called the Civilian Review Board, which is actually supposed to hold the police accountable, you will see that most of the people who are in those positions are actually appointees. There's very little civilian about it. Now, the thing is that if you think about it, unfortunately, what happens is that normal people, they're not really involved with holding the police accountable, right? So the thing is that with the CRB, they're not really, they see it on the news, they'll go to a protest, but they don't really investigate what the real problems are. But the fact of the matter is, if you're a police officer, right, and then, or if you're in the union or something, and then, you know, your police officers are going down, then you have a lot of industries end up taking over the things that are supposed to regulate them. We know this is also very common inside the cancer community, right? Yeah. People are, instead of actually saying the chemicals produce cancer, the companies that produce the cancer-causing chemicals actually make sure to swing the narrative so that we only talk about detection of cancer instead of actually asking what is causing the cancer. So there's a lot of shenanigans going on, and people are not listening to the actual victims or the people affected. They're listening to celebrities or so-called experts who are trying to tell us how to solve the solutions. Who's going to know how to solve the solution better than the people who have been victims or people who are affected by the system? But our voices are not included in the solutions or the review of the systems.
Yeah, I can speak firsthand personally. Um, last year, I had a situation that I had a family member of my girlfriend, fiance, threaten us with a gun to kill us, and we brought the charge. We filed complaints, and we filed criminal charges and everything, and it took even a while just to apprehend her. They were very lax on actually searching for her. This individual threatened to shoot up a hospital, not only kill us, but to shoot up a hospital. And long story short, the lack incompetence, she finally was arrested and processed and everything. Uh, but the end result was the Bronx DA dropped the ball, and the case wound up getting thrown out in court and dismissed. We wound up getting, final justice in family court, and we all moved forward from there in our separate ways. But situations like that, you know, the the district attorneys have a role in this as well and have a
Of course.
responsibility. And the fact that you have individuals committing crimes, committing murders, and stuff like that, and they're being free because of our failed legal system and because we don't have cash bail, and stuff like that. There's no cash bail right now, and the whole thing. And yeah, it's a big mess. And then also quickly, the same police over here that will stop and harass innocent minorities over here. Um, a couple years ago, the same police station over here, they actually harassed and stopped me and Veronica from doing a back to school drive event in our community, in our neighborhood, in our projects. That we wasn't committing any crimes. We were giving out free haircuts, free food for the neighborhood. We had a barbecue, the whole thing, and they actually came. The community fairs, they actually came and shut us down. So yeah.
Wow, really? That's crazy.
Mhm.
It's crazy but believable. I have
Yeah,
to be honest, Jason, and I'm
yeah,
sorry to go through that. This is exactly why I never wanted to get involved in the law enforcement scene, is because it's just things that are done sometimes, and it's done to hurt the people, and it's hurting more people than it is
Well,
helps.
I'm not gonna bash, law enforcement in general. There is plenty of good cops out there and stuff like that, but it it's unfortunate. Repeatedly we see these situations like we're all talking about with Robert Brooks, with George Floyd, with Eric Gardner, Amadou Diallo.
I'm a,
It,
I,
it goes on and on. Go ahead. I'll speak more about this.
yeah,
There's actually, I think, two major factors here. The thing is that, including the police, right? You have a lot of these not-for-profit profit agencies that are like in a similar position. The thing is that these, now you are engaged in political activity, right? Trying to actually run for office. So the thing is that remember that the police, sometimes the elected officials can help them out in certain ways, make things available or cover for them. They can also assign contracts, right? Certain police departments or certain individuals can be hired to moonlight or work overtime and these other things. Now, the thing is that when we look at grants that are provided, there's two usual pathways. Either it's the public sector, right? And then the public sector is supposed to be, these people are not supposed to engage in political activity. But let's be real, right? How can they not be, right? I've worked for not-for-profit agencies. They're not supposed to be engaged in political activity. That's absolutely what they do. How can they not, right? Their contract is dependent on who's in office. If someone switches and they decide to put their people in, you lost the job. So it just doesn't make any sense. The other way is a private industry.
Just to quickly follow up on you, I'm dealing with that situation in my neighborhood where I'm running for District 2 because for the past decade, so many people in my district depended on Carlina Rivera, and for certain individuals and certain nonprofit organizations, she was very supportive in the tune of millions of dollars. And so people like one of my Democratic opponents, Harvey Epstein, the state assemblyman, he's Mr. Monopoly lately, giving out millions of dollars to all the local nonprofit community centers over here and stuff like that. So that is a problem that, like you mentioned, that you have elected officials buying influence and buying votes and swaying people, through money.
And when they send the police to bust up your stuff, I mean, you're just helping the community. It doesn't make sense that someone just giving away some bags would be shut down. It seems very strange. But, once you start to get involved with their business, they'll shut you down. So the other side is, unfortunately, the private sector. The private sector is often trying to control the narrative. So they have a reason why they're investing, right? Normal people, the people that I work for, right? The people that I serve with my activism, they can't usually afford my services or are not really aware of, or they're really skeptical.
I'm trying. I feel so broke. I've never felt broke in my life, just to be honest. Sorry.
I understand.
But it's all part of the struggle, But you're doing the right thing.
It's like, then I feel like people are like, shouldn't you be focusing? Because usually I work in production. I work in a big production. So I think the day we were together, DJ Elf at City Council, when we did on higher education, and I had a big show that day. And bro, like, the sadness of it is my affiliate wasn't able to fulfill the job because he needed someone to do work with the live stream and whatever. And it's like ever since then, it's just been like, man, it's been like, it's very serious. And I salute Jason Murillo. I mean, I think you're a great candidate for the Lower East Side. I want to talk about it. DJ Alf, I think you would be great for a lot of things, man. And it's like,
he would be a great representative for the Queens as well.
You know what I'm saying? And he's very heart. I have to say, I'm so happy about him. It's because he's very heartfelt and he's always very truthful. And I have to say, I love that. It's a very good thing to have in life. But in the same sense of being truthful is people will shoot you down. And I understand when you tell me these people, they try to shoot you down, and especially in the Asian community. I got to really see that being over in Jamaica, and these people were handing out cards, and I said, let me take a picture with you and post this. And she was like, no, I don't want no photos. And I was like, wait, don't you really stand for this cause? Because I do. If I stand for a cause, I'll take a picture, I'll do whatever. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not just, but and then it's like a lot of the things he speaks about is truthful. He's very honest. He keeps it real with you, and he'll let you know how he feel about you. Listen, if you're a new candidate coming into it, talk to these people. They're great. Jason Murillo, you're absolutely amazing. I just want to say here and tell you I appreciate you guys. And me and my friend, we were talking about something. I talk so much. Let me end it. But and we were talking about your work friends, the people you develop with, and I'm like, whoa, you guys have become these work friends that I'm developing with, which is great. But I've been really broke, and it sucks. It's like I'm still trying to figure out everything, and it's really not fair with having to meet the threshold of $250,000 as a mayor candidate and all these other great things
Well,
that
you still got time to switch to city council, and which is more attainable if you're trying to get matching funds.
yeah.
But even to get on the ballot is more attainable, um,
Yeah.
especially on the third party line, as well. So that's something to consider. And I believe DJ Alf, you're running for, I believe, a district leader in Queens.
Maybe just county committee, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
county committee.
Leader
Yeah.
thing. By the way, I see Gonzalo Duran. Shout out to Gonzalo Duran. But what does he mean? I still don't know if I'm voting for Jason Murillo or the other person. Just so you know, I'm a fan of Jason, and you guys got to actually work with the people that have been with you, not the ones that they give you. The fact of the matter is that, a lot of people get entranced by this Puff Daddy kind of like celebrity game,
Yeah.
and they want to support someone who hasn't been working with the community, someone who they haven't worked with personally. No one's perfect, but work with the people in your circle and start making that tight. The people that actually interact with you. The other guy, Gonzalo, you don't even know the name of the other person, right? His name's Anthony Weiner. And honestly, if I send an email to Weiner, he's not talking to me.
All right, since you segue into that, let's get into it now. We're going to be covering right now, the few minutes we got left here, New York City 2025 elections here. So let's put that graphic on the screen. Let's remove the chat at the moment. Well, we'll include more chat as it comes in. So since this perfect segue, you actually did it for me. Thank you, DJ Elf. And we got a lot of listeners right now, watchers. I shout out to everybody. I'll be on every Sunday night here, 6:37 p.m. For an hour, and then you got VLG at 8 p.m. on Sunday night here. So there you go. And yeah, so let's get into it right now. Anyone but him, or anyway. All right, so we're not dealing with that right now. Let's just focus on the show here. All right, so we're covering New York City politics right now. And let's start at the top. Let's actually, you know what? Let's start at Anthony Weiner. Let's start at the it's gonna be the highly contested outside of the mayor's race, and perhaps New York City public advocate. The hottest city council race in New York City is District 2 because of the celebrity status and the controversial status of some of the candidates, such as Harvey Epstein, Mr. Saturday Night Live himself. Not that Epstein, the other Epstein. So, as they said, if you watch the skit on SNL, Saturday Night Live. But also Anthony Weiner. So let me get his, I believe I have him right here. So let's talk about Anthony Weiner. What do you guys think about him trying to make a comeback in politics and be the running for city council here?
I have one word for it. Cute. Okay? Anthony Weiner, give it a rest. Like, it's too bad to not give it a rest. I mean, yeah, I'm going to make a strive. Try it in 10 more years. See if the people accept. I mean, we already got people like Andrew Cuomo who didn't do nothing at all. I mean, I'm just sorry. Like, come on. So he's got to wait his turn a little bit more. I don't know.
Let me remove his picture here. What are your thoughts on Anthony Weiner, DJ Elf7?
Well, the thing is that Anthony Weiner, the fact of the matter is that his wife is Huma Abedin, which actually has ties to Hillary Clinton, which is extremely disturbing. She has like a body count. Not only that, but Anthony Weiner, but when you look at the name, it's kind of like he plays like really a lot of the progressive tropes that make him popular, that got him elected. Like he was fighting for, Medicare for all, right? For pro-choice stuff, right? Which is makes him a darling because he'll tote the causes that the party leadership wants him to carry. But when you look at his own personal life, he was actually sending new or sexually revealing pics not only just to women outside of his marriage, but also to a minor. He is actually involved with the worst of the corrupt kind of like Jeffrey
He's
Epstein.
a registered sex offender.
Yeah, this is no good. You know what I mean? This
Oh
is,
my goodness. Kids, I see. Something just told me is something's off about this guy, and it's just too many of them concurrent together. Like Jay, like he has to relax a little bit. Like at least a lot more control than whatever's been
I've
going on.
been very outspoken against the bad Democrats out there, the socialist Democrats who have destroyed New York City and tried to destroy this country. Um, you know, so I've been very outspoken and against Anthony Weiner. He should not be running for public office ever again. He's a disgrace to the public oath that he took and his personal misconduct, and to me is disqualifying. And someone such as myself that has a family, and I represent many families in my community. Yeah, this is disgusting. We should not have a convicted, registered sex offender running for public office ever again. So, yeah, I wish the best of luck to Anthony Weiner, and I hope the voters make the right decision and don't vote or elect him into political office again. Moving on to the other controversial candidate is Harvey Epstein. So, what what do you guys have to say about Harvey Epstein running for city council while holding the state assembly seat?
I think Harvey Epstein's going to be kind of like the favorite in this race. He almost won control of the Manhattan Democrats by only 8 votes. He was actually short. So he's actually, I think, the most serious challenge. And the fact that he's already in office will mean that a lot of people, he'll have a lot of relations with the not-for-profit industrial complex that is actually going to go to work for him. Like you said, he's doling out millions of dollars not-for-profits, and most people don't vote. Let's be real. The people who do vote are the people that are getting jobs from these people. And really, that's why I really shout out to Gonzalo Duran, right? And I know that you've been involved in this work too. We have to register people to vote. We have to register a new block of people to be politically engaged. It's really right. It's not about really the leadership. It's about building the community to really understand. I was actually in elected office before, and that's why I'm not really so eager to like run for office and stuff, really, because I realized that after I left office, that a lot of people who paid attention to what I did were actually learned from my political moves, and they actually undid a lot of my work and destroyed and actually rolled things back in a negative way. So the fact of the matter is that we have to empower the community and have a real grassroots from the ground up. And only then can we have lasting change. Otherwise, it's just going to be a temporary fix, and things could really get worse, actually.
Well, quickly before we move on, because we got other races and candidates to talk about. My point of view with Harvey Epstein is this: he's part of the socialist democrat system to defund public housing, to privatize public housing, which will affect me personally and other many over 500,000 people that live in NYCRA public housing. He's part of the alliance between City Hall currently and Mayor Eric Adams to defund and privatize public housing, to dismantle it, just like they did at the Fulton Chelsea houses and other houses around the city, and what they're in the process of doing here where I live at Jacob Reese houses, along as Lydian Ward and Baruch as well, which has about I believe 20,000 residents or so, something like that, if you count it all up. And he is also part, because remember, he's state assemblyman. He is the chair on the environmental protection for New York State. So with that in mind, he was part of the cover-up of the arsenic poisoning that we had here at our development and other developments, and asbestos and and all that other stuff. He's part of the cover up of that, and at the same time, he's profiting off of that with the environmental, packs that he has. They're part of the cleanup, so he's directly responsible, involved in that, which should disqualify him because it's a conflict of interest, and it's a disgrace what he has done. He allowed this situation to happen here in Jacob Reese houses and all throughout NYCHA houses in New York City. The environmental disasters that we have, along with Carlina Rivera, outgoing city councilwoman here. But at the same time, they're profiting off of it, and they're in bed with the real estate developers that are supposedly going to come and save the day here, and to clean up the mess. But what they don't tell you is that they're going to jack up our rents by thousands of dollars. We're not going to have affordable housing anymore, and that many people are going to be evicted. They did a study and an audit, the city of New York, with Brad and Pac. That's the people that we were fighting against, and that since they took over developments, they have increased evictions by over 500%, and with no regulations, with no protections for residents. Residents are being evicted by the thousands as soon as Brad and Pac takes over control of NYCHA housing. So that is a big problem, and that is one of my key issues in running for city council, that we need to have someone actually from public housing to represent us and to be a safeguard, to be a protector and an advocate, because people like Harvey Epstein and these other elected officials are bought and paid for, and quite frankly, they don't give a fuck about minorities. They don't care about minorities. All they care about is profits.
Now, if I could just jump in for a second, yeah. The thing is that, look, I've been working in the public housing sector for quite some time, and I know that a lot of people will say that Harvey Epstein is actually more supportive of public housing than most, and I do understand where they would understand that. But just so you know, that's the thing is that we have to understand a couple things. First of all, even the Democrats are very crafty, and they can put someone in to seem like they're on your side. Meanwhile, right, we know that the number one corrupting factor of local politics is real estate, and actually Julia Salazar, a DSA person, has actually led the fight for privatization. Privatization can be good or bad. Red Pack can be good or bad. Section 9 can be good or bad. But the one thing that we really see that's shared between all of, unfortunately, the establishment plans, save Section 9 or Red Pact, is that they don't want to actually empower residents themselves. Now, you are actually groundbreaking because you are actually a resident of public housing, and they don't want actual poor people, or actually, they want to cook up their little 4D chess games, and they leave you completely out of it. That's why I think that it's so essential to show that people like yourself can actually obtain power. You can do absolutely as good of a job as Harvey Epstein. There's no reason why. They want you to always remain on the plantation. They want you to always remain under them and never have a voice and never obtain power. And that's just that's the trap right there. That's the lie, right? That we're taking care of you, but we'll never let you have power. Something's weird, something's wrong. Don't trust it.
Exactly. And I also want to commend you as well. And I want to commend the Valle, because he's from public housing as well.
Yes.
And he's also fighting the fight, just by speaking out, just by registering to run for mayor, regardless of your candidacy, if you make the ballot or not, just for the fact that you are speaking up and speaking out and put your name out there speaks volumes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. One big thing I got to see in my life that changed my life, guys, is growing up. You see a lot of hopelessness living in these kind of places. And, going to school became something that I love to do. I even ran for vice president of my school at one point. But one thing that I saw even more was the after school programs with the theater program that we had. We even had it in regular classes, and the stock management class we did. These were all things that strived me to be the person that I am today. and this is why I always say education, education. Let's invest in education. No, 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 no. Let's invest in education. Everybody wants to invest in this and that. No, let's invest in education and the mental health community amongst the education, because it's like these kids, they grow up with families sometimes that are just not, they can't, it's very difficult for them to show prosperity. I know because I've seen it and I see it every day. Oh, what are you trying to say? I'm saying what the real truth of it is. And you see hopelessness a lot of times being in these communities. I've seen it. Nobody can tell me I didn't see it, you know. And sometimes people give up, and when people give up, they start committing heinous crime. They start doing crazy things and making crazy crimes happen, and robbing and stealing. And we need to just make sure that our youth never get to that point, and they always has an option. They always have resources, and that's the most important part, is making resources in touch with people. That's it.
I'd like to actually challenge that particular, not saying it's all bad or all good, but the thing is that when we invest in our education, we got to be careful that we do it in the right way. There's a lot of this idea that education is all good, but being Asian Americans have dominated academics for the past 50 years, half a century, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. Can you name an Asian American scientist? Can you name an Asian American musician? In fact, out of all the races, Asian American women are the most likely to date outside of their race. Let's take a look at, right, the thing is that education, right, you're not wrong in that we got to invest in education, but we got to invest our examination of the curriculum. We got to invest our own personal, some power can be given, some power must be taken. And what our children are not receiving is a political education. When we teach our children to find the slope of a line, y equals mx plus b, and if that line is curved, we teach them calculus, but the quality of the food in the schools looks like it came out of a prison, and what's more important to development. And neither the children nor their parents know who to go to get the quality of that food improved. Is it the mayor? Is it the principal? Is it the board of education? You have no idea. You are taught to be someone else's servant. You are not taught to empower yourself. And let the failure of Asian Americans prove to you, right, that we have to be very careful about having a consumerist, let's just invest more in education. Does that mean more money? They already, 29% of the budget, I believe, more than 3 times the combined budget for the police, the fire, and the corrections is actually invested into education. We spend a huge amount of education. Is it about the money? We need to invest our own attention to what our children are learning. You're not wrong in that. We do have to invest, but we have to invest our actual care and our examination. We can't just say, you know what, I sent my kids to school, I'm doing the right thing. Oh, no. Those schools are actually, hurting your kids. That's what I believe. I'm not saying investigation is bad, right? We do have to invest in education, but what education are they receiving, right? So that's a big part of my activism too.
Totally, and that's the thing. Is like, even those home ec class that they used to have back in the day. Like, I mean, we see things as simple as cooking. People don't really even understand how to cook for themselves. And I think that's another big thing of why people eat unhealthy, is because they don't know these simple tools that you should learn. Hey, maybe you need some vegetables with this kind of meat, or whatever the senses are. And I just think it starts as simple as that, just having a household, how to save, how to budget, how to invest. Because those are the things that I learned. And when I learned these things, I was like, oh my goodness, Baruch Hashem, life is great. It doesn't have to be as hard, but you could be very promising and hopeful, especially when you have stocks. You're hoping for the stock market to expand, and you have hope and you have faith in the future, and you see the news and you feel like you're a part of the news. You feel like you're a part of society. Let's teach them how to feel a part of with society. Call me.
I really I like learning from the trades and stuff like that. I think what DJ Loudmouth is doing as a DJ is fantastic. He's got a radio show on AM radio. He's actually promoting his own. His partner has a magazine. They're out there promoting their other artists, stuff like that. Did they teach any of this to you in school, by the way, DJ Loudmouth?
Yeah,
they did.
I went to BMCC community college, So I did that.
Okay, you had a good teacher. Most schools don't. They'll teach you to draw the line. They'll never teach you how to sell the line. Art schools, you know what I mean?
And
But
I
somehow,
learned that Manhattan Neighborhood Network, and then they were very influential. I wouldn't be where I'm at today without Manhattan Neighborhood Network and Brick, and yeah, and then
good teachers make a difference, right? Yeah. So thanks again to Von Stephen DeValle for shouting me out, right? Quality teachers do make a difference. A lot of times people don't really investigate the right, who's teaching your kids now? What's their qualifications, right? How do they differ, right? People don't know.
so
And
let's move on here. We got a few minutes left here, and we got a couple of key races to talk about for New York City here, 2025. So let's go to the public advocate race, which will be a highly contested race. We have a lot of candidates for that, and of course, they're all trying to defeat current incumbent Joannie Williams. So, what are you guys' thoughts on Joannie Williams?
Giovanni's struggling. The thing is that he used to be good at running around, but now he's a darling of the rich, progressive, liberal elite that keep him under control. He's only allowed to help so far, and then he can't really help. For example, accessible pedestrian signals, which actually allow the deafblind to cross the street safely on 42nd Street. We actually did a study of that, and there's how much they charge to install accessible pedestrian signals for one intersection? I think it's like over $30,000. The amount of money is insane. So Jumaane Williams helped us to a point, but as soon as he started to cross that money barrier, right, or started to ask questions about that, he can't get involved in screwing up someone else's contract, and he went quiet. There's a lot of issues like this where people, are in. It's like gatekeeping. It's like Cat Williams said, right? There's certain people that are brought up in the game, and they'll do the bidding of their masters, and we need to actually get off the plantation and free ourselves.
So one of his opponents is an outspoken woman who has moved forward, a trailblazer, an advocate for decades for minorities, from Asian Americans, Filipinos, to Jewish people as well. Many people, many immigrants. The individual known by is Angela Aquino, which will be a guest on WPAT on Wednesday, January 29th. Sorry, about to say July. At the end of the month, she'll be our special guest on our Wednesday night show on WPAT 930. Angela Aquino, who's been very controversial in the news the past few months and outspoken against Joannie Williams and City Hall. And she's going to be up there as one of the primary challengers to face Joannie Williams. What are your thoughts on her quickly?
Your turn, Steve. Bye.
Huh?
Your turn, Von Stephen DeValle. Your turn. Yeah.
So, you know what? She takes me as somebody who really has been through the situations that she feels like she's facing, and I feel like, Jamani. I mean, to be honest, I've seen a little bit about him in the news and everything, and the news is the news. So it's like I think we have candidates who are really mean it in their heart to apply for these positions, and they can make a difference. And that's how I feel about Angela Aquino. Is even speaking with our Hoops the Dreams initiative for education, it seems to get great growth. So I think as long as of course, I think we're all here for the hard sake of it. We can definitely see like great things happen.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So moving on to the mayor's race, which is something you're a part of. You're one of the candidates ready for mayor. Let me see if I get your graphic on here. Here we go, so people can see it. So tell people about you. Give us like a 2-minute thing on you.
So one of the things I really think number one has to be public safety, which is so important. A lot of the times I do research about certain cases. I write a submission, I submit it to myself, like just a bunch of different things. And one of them was I spoke about 11-year-olds being stabbed in our systems. And it was like after school issues that were happening. And now we see a 14-year-old who's murdered by a very older man who didn't know this kid, just an isolated incident. And it's very extremely scary. It's nerve wracking, and then being scared on the public transportation. So public safety has to be number one. We can't just keep letting them out. You can't do that, because now they see, okay, I can get out, no problem. Then they go out to commit worse than worse crimes. Listen, if I didn't get caught up for this, maybe now I can do a worse crime. That's just the thinking of a criminal. To move on from that, I think our mental health definitely needs to be improved. And there's a thin line in that, right? I mean, it's like you see people like Nellie Bly, who was a journalist who really got to capture mental health in a very bad history, if you will. And that truly was like they were putting everybody in a mental house, even if they were sane. So we've seen that happen too, and that's starting to happen, especially with our homeless out on the streets who don't want help or services, and they feel comfortable being in that same exact spot for whatever reason it may be, mental, neuro, whatever. So we have that happening, mental health, and then boom, let's go to our education. Education is very important. Let's innovate it. What do I mean when I say innovating it? Let's try different things, new things, and new approaches. More after school. More after school is definitely important. It changed my life. It changed a lot of people in my circle's lives. And let's really show them how they should save to pay all. Where we have to make leaders who are gonna learn how to live in a concrete jungle. This is a hard city to live in, and not everybody's born with the skills to gift and gab, or to like swing this way and swing that way. This is a very scary city. Um, yeah.
All right, so DJ Alf, how you feel about some of the other candidates for that's running for mayor? We got like many independent candidates like Tabitha Ward, who's also part of your um, outreach event at the Chelsea Fulton Houses. You got Gonzalo Durant, and yeah, how you think about the other candidates that are running against Eric Adams?
Okay, so the thing is that I had the only third-party independent candidate debates for the 21 election cycle. I've seen how candidates have gone through the process, and I've even seen like Ray McGuire, he's actually a millionaire, who actually was endorsed by a lot of high-level hip-hop celebrities, and the amount of votes that he got in the race was not really so high. So I know it's a very tough road to actually travel to actually get elected. So the thing is that we can participate together to affect things like we were at Fulton Chelsea trying to advocate to stop the demolition, right? To stop the unhousing of people who are facing. And the fact of the matter is that right now, I'm honestly, there's a lot of candidates who I really support in the heart. They're kind of operating on a dream and faith. But the fact of the matter is that my team, some of them have been facing, are getting beat down at home with baseball bats. They've been dealing with wrongful incarceration. Wow. In order for them to get to the people like you and myself, right? If we were all like in this community working together, we can make progress. But unfortunately, the normies are really the ones who kind of determine, and a lot of them are going to be watching debates, things like that, right? Or mainstream media coverage. And just from working a bunch of election cycles, not just here locally, but also nationally, I need to see candidates really more aggressively understand the game of what's going to get them press coverage, so they can help my team get our issues resolved. Because the faith in the dream thing, we've already done that for several years in a row, and my people are still getting beat down with baseball bats. And I can't really just ask them to come out again on faith in a dream again. You know what I mean? They're losing faith. And honestly, my own credibility as an activist, right? I asked them to come out 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, right? And I said, try these candidates, maybe they can get us coverage. I have to really start getting a little bit more, just because of what's at stake. I have to be a little bit more, as much as I love you guys, and we're still accomplishing things, right? We have actually, thanks again, Von Stephen DeValle, for backing me up and asking, and Gonzalo Duran for asking for a meeting with the Trinity Chancellor. There's very serious issues of student abuse going on, and a long list of problems. So, Gonzalo, you're a decent front man, but once again, we need to really, we could have a fundraising party, right, for the Conservative Party candidates. I'm actually also talked to Von Stephen DeValle about possibly moving down to borough president, and then you can combine the resources. We need to hit those minimums in order to get that mainstream press coverage. So I just want you guys, the more competitive you can be, and the more that we can challenge the mainstream candidates like Harvey Epstein, who's got the whole millions of dollars backing him, right? We got to really force our way in the door. We can't wait anymore.
Exactly. The time is now. So we got a few minutes left before we have to end our broadcast, because Real G Spotlight Radio is coming up. But I offer this opportunity to you, DJ Elf, to join me every Sunday night, or when possible, to join me here, so we could continue having these fiery, open discussion debates, and have a platform for all the advocacy and all the changes that we're trying to do.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll talk more about that, right? I'm still learning your platform. Your platform is actually so diverse. First, we had the thing on the W. Patterson News. Now we're here on the on the live stream on multiple media platforms. I'm still learning about exactly what Who's Next Radio is all about. But I'm excited to work with you. And you've
well, it's an open platform like we're doing now. So it's not tied to mainstream media. Control or anything like that. So it's an open platform. That's just like for artists out there. The same thing for people like us and people going to bring change, to New York City and to America and around the world.
Yeah, I'm excited to work with you.
Definitely. So obviously, the last topic of the night is Eric Adams. Should he be reelected this year, or should he step down?
Is that for me?
And for anybody who wants to take it, go. You
Go
go.
I want you to get some answers in.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're running for mayor too, so go ahead.
I mean, listen. I mean, Andrew Cuomo had to step down during the COVID thing, right? And whatever, we could say he's guilty of this, he's guilty of that, but he should really focus on his indictments, and that's it. He really disappointed me. I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed in you, Mayor Adams. I met you in real life, and shaking your hand, like, it made me feel real nasty. And it was like, dang, you really can't trust anybody. And that's really, truly another reason why I wanted to run for mayor, is like, you can't trust these people. Like, I don't trust them. I really don't. But, I mean, he should really focus on those indictments he has. He shouldn't be focusing on running again or even being mayor right now. I don't trust him, and neither do the rest of New York.
Yeah, just real quickly here, we're about to be off. I'm responding to all right, so boom pod. Yes, DJ Elf 7 does have a Twitter X. It's DJ Elf number 7 NYC. That's his.
Just go to djl7.com, and then you can have all links to all my social media there. So
there you go, even better. So I think
add me on Instagram, Von NYC.
Yeah, do your social media.
2025 VONNYC 2025, guys.
There you go. I'm DJ Loudmouth. Of course, Instagram DJ Loudmouth Official. Twitter Jason Morello NY MURILO. Jason Morello DJ Loudmouth on Facebook. The whole thing. My campaign website DJLoudmouthNYC.com. Jason Morello for NYC.com, and also the radio station that proudly represents us and what we're doing here today. As always, is Who's Next NYC Radio, and that's at WhosNextNYCRadio.com. And you could download the app for free on all platforms and be part of the discussion on future shows as well. We're on all streaming platforms, the whole thing. I want to thank our wonderful guests that we have this evening, and I look forward to following up with you guys moving forward and having DJ Alf potentially co-host with me on Sunday nights here. So it's an open platform, so whoever wants to co-host with me and, take this to the next level. So any closing thoughts by you guys before we go?
New York, just pray. Everybody pray for the city to get better because it's really nasty right now. Rest in peace to Debrina, the one who was burnt on the subway train at Coney Island.
And I guess the last thing I'm going to say is that, it was funny that you mentioned the Andrew Cuomo thing, right? Even though he literally killed people at the nursing homes, right, by forcing them in there during the COVID epidemic, right? That wasn't what forced him to resign. It was the sexual assault allegations. So unfortunately, right, that's how little people like you and me matter to the big people, right? That's how little our lives matter. So once again, trust the people that have been with you, not the ones they give you. Shout out to Gigi Loudmouth for giving us actually the platform to be here, right? We look at the so-called leaders like Mayor Adams. Why can't you come on this show? There's a lot of people that DJ Loudmouth helps, right? Artists that could use the exposure. Instead, he's giving Puff Daddy the key to the city. It's disgusting. Yeah.
There you go. And I invited him personally. I met him numerous times, and I've been trying to get him for years. But I guess because anyone that's outspoken against him at all, he's not gonna, be on. So
he's too busy playing with Puff Daddy. He doesn't have time to help the artists that you help. So shout out to your platform.
Well, maybe he'll be joining. Maybe he'll be joining Diddy sooner than later.
Oh my goodness. All right, we'll see.
All right. On that note, we're going to sign off for now. Thank you all for listening and watching. We have many listeners and watchers, and you can follow this and watch it again on our YouTube at Who's Next NYC Radio or VOG Spotlight Network channels. It's also be on Twitter and X as well. I thank everyone for joining the discussion. Up next is VOG Spotlight Radio, and I'll check you guys out this Wednesday night on WPAT 930 on your AM dial, AM 930, 8 p.m. Eastern. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, DJ.